Hi guys, it's Tuesday, July 5th. I hope everybody had a great July 4th 3-day weekend. I did a Marco Rubio and drank some water while filming a video. So I wanted to continue with some of the questions that I have been asked. I made part 1 and part 2. This is going to be part 3 of that series, and just share honestly and open about what's going on. So the last video was deep. I got into a lot of the past things. Now I'm gonna get more into the present, what's been going on like the last couple months. So the first question is, how am I doing? So I'm doing very well, much better than what I expected. I think there's a couple factors that have helped in that. Adriana had made a video previously about when she was feeling down, and there was a time she went to her doctor, and I felt she got some help from the doctor with the anxiety and the highs and lows emotionally, and it kind of gave me the courage to do the same, because I had I guess had the same issues. I've had anxiety for a while. I had ups and downs, extreme highs, extreme lows, and seeing her be courageous and strong allowed me to do the same. So I went to my doctor, and before I even went, I actually took some of her medicine, and it felt a change instantly. And I went to my doctor, got my own prescription, and I've been doing it since, and it's helped a lot. What I'm taking is called Zoloft. It's like a different brand of Zoloft, and to be honest with you, it's been instrumental in this change, in this whole process. I feel like it's leveled me out. Before, anytime we would talk about separating, I would be very anxious. I would feel like my world was like coming to an end, and I didn't know what to do. The stability was gone. I wouldn't be able to see my girls every day, and that kind of allowed me to handle this process in a much more mature way without losing sight of what's important. The girls are important. My future's important. I'm important as well. Prioritizing myself, taking care of myself, and just trying to do it in the best way possible without having, extreme highs, extreme lows. And I think without that, it would have been a lot more difficult. So it's allowed me to overall just be more mellow, more calm, and I think that would probably be the number one key as to why I've been able to handle this in such a good way. Number 2, I would think I'm doing well because I felt like I did everything I could in that year that we were trying to fix it. Tried everything, and got to a point where I was just like, okay, if this is what needs to happen, this is what needs to happen, and I need to be strong and deal with it, and that's what I'm doing. Number 3, the girls. Having the girls is different than, the last time we had broken up. The girls weren't there. Isabel was around, but she would live with her mom, and I would see her, every other weekend. So there was a lot of time that I would spend by myself, and I would have, difficulty with it. Another portion of that was that at that point I went and moved back in with my parents, which are great. I love my parents. Whenever they need me, I'm there. Whenever I need them, they're there. Just like family is supposed to work. But as a man, it was a difficult step to go back and move in with my parents. And that was something that this time I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. If I can, they obviously offered, and they're like, whatever support you need, any help that you need, if you want to move in. And, if I wanted to have rushed the process, and I would have had to move out right when we started the process, I would have probably ended up moving in with them until I was able to move out on my own. But since we were doing it very calmly and in a positive way, in a very civil way, I was in no rush to leave the house until late May, mid-May, late May was when the process started, and I ended up moving out. I think it was the end of May, beginning of June. So that allowed me time to process. I didn't feel like it was a step backwards because I was moving out on my own. that was an exciting process because I'm living on my own. I'm responsible for everything. I'm enjoying taking care of my house. I'm enjoying taking care of the chores. I'm enjoying taking care of my girls. That combination has made it a much better process than what I imagined. Isabel has, the opportunity that we had to talk about the divorce and to get into a lot of topics that we hadn't had the chance to get into, brought a closeness between us and an openness and a communication that wasn't there before, and it's helped as well because it felt like something was missing in my relationship with her, and that's kind of started to flourish at this point. She, wants to try living with me for about a month this summer, so she'll be coming at the end of this week. In the shopping, we already got some stuff for her because she's vegetarian, and so that will be happening soon. So that's another thing that's been helping. So it's kind of like a whole, the medicine, the fact that I moved out into my new place, the fact that I have 50% custody of the girls, the fact that I have Isabel coming as well, all of that, and the fact that it was a slow process and a very friendly process made it to where I'm okay. It's something that, obviously it's not the ideal situation. Divorce is not ideal, but I'm okay. I'm very calm. I'm very mellow. I'm looking forward to, short-term future, long-term future, whatever that may be. And I have my own goals that I'm working on. I've been really busy at work, so that's helped as well. And I haven't had much time to, be upset and be sad. And even when the girls are with Adriana, I'm still, working on the house. The soccer tournament that was on, Copa America and the Euro Cup, have helped as well because summer is normally a slow time for sports unless you like baseball, which I watch sometimes, but I'm not a regular follower of it. So that helped as well. The fact that Chile did well and won the tournament, that was something that, also as a sports fan and as a patriot, I enjoyed very much. So all those things kind of make it to where I'm okay. I can honestly say that I'm okay. It's not something that I'm not really feeling. I'm feeling okay. I've still seen the therapist that we were seeing before. That's helped also. This video interaction with you has also helped a lot. It's crazy, but it allows me to express myself. It's like a diary, It's always good to put your feelings and emotions on paper. I don't really have the time to do that, but I let it out and tell you guys what's going on, and I think that's something else that's like another escape. So it's a combination of about 10 things that's like very important, and it's made this process good as it can be. How am I feeling about the divorce? That's another question I got. I feel like no matter what, it had to happen. As I think I mentioned this before, when we first did it, the first day I was like, no, this can't happen. And after that, I was like, this is going to be okay because things couldn't be as they were. And whether we decided to be together again, we had to separate for us to realize that. And if not, for me to move on with my life and for her to move on with her life and be okay separately, this had to happen. The status quo could not be maintained for either of us. Neither of us were happy. Our relationship had deteriorated, and there's still love and care and all that. That's not going to go away, but our relationship had deteriorated as it was in the current state. So it had to happen. So that's why I'm feeling good about it. I feel like it was the right choice. I'm glad she pushed it because I don't think I would have pushed it, but she was strong enough to do it, and I commend her for it. And I'm glad I supported it and went along with it and didn't fight it. What is the hardest thing? Okay. The hardest thing would probably be that for like since we met September of 07. Since September of 07, with very few exceptions, we've spent 24/7 with each other except when we're at work. And even when we were at work, we would see each other at lunch. We worked together for a long time, before work, after work. So that's like our lives were completely intertwined, and we completely lived for each other and with each other, and we were obsessed with each other, and everything revolved around each other. I would constantly be doing things to make her happy. I would be constantly thinking about her. She was the same with me. So it was something that's a hard part, because from one day to another, that's gone. Although it wasn't from one day to another, it was kind of like a smooth process, but once we made the decision, I moved out. That's it. It became real, and so that's probably the hardest thing. Not having that partner in life that I had for almost 9 years. It would be 9 years in September that we met. So that's the hardest part. It's also hard when I don't have the girls, because I love being with them. Some people have commented asking if our agreement is 50%. That's another question that I was going to get into later, but I'll speak about that now. Our agreement is 50%. It's supposed to be Monday, Tuesday, one parent, Wednesday, Thursday, parent B, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, parent A, the one that had him Monday and Tuesday, and the next week the other way around. The other parent that had him only Wednesday, Thursday would have him Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because of her kickball, I've had her, like last week I had the girls 5 days and she only had them 2, or 1. Yeah, 5. It was supposed to be 5 and 2, but I had them more because she didn't have them Thursday. So I've been very open to having her come and see the girls whenever I have them. Her mom came yesterday and spent time with them. I've been open with that, no problem whatsoever. My only request was that it's reciprocated when I miss them and I want to see them, and that's not prevented from me, and that's an important thing, and I've kind of set the tone for that so far, so I'm hoping it stays in that right track. So it seems like I have him more, like this week I had him 6 days and she only had him once. This week will be more normal because Wednesday, Thursday are my days, and yesterday was a holiday, so we kind of spent part of the day together. So it's good. That's another part. The girls were the difficult part. Losing my partner is a difficult part, and I guess the social part about it, because you tell your family, you tell your friends, you tell this. But to be honest with you, it was something that was a concern for me a little bit, but I'm pretty comfortable with myself and the point that I'm at in my life, that I don't really care what goes on. Whether I'm with her, whether I'm not, I don't feel like anybody has the right to judge me. Everybody has their own things, and I feel like I'm okay with the truth. This is happening. This is my life, and that's it. And if you don't like it, then that's your problem, not mine. So I think those 3 things have been the hardest thing. Losing my partner, not being with the girls 100% of the time, and the social aspect of it. But neither of them, they're all manageable. Neither of them have been, too difficult to handle. Another question. Have we explained it to the girls? The girls are really young. The conversation I had with Isabel was obviously a way different conversation. She's 14. She's probably very mature for her age. So the conversation that we had wasn't the same conversation that you would have with a 14-year-old. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of in-depth analysis that we both did, and it helped me a lot. And I'm sure it helped her a lot. And we were able to get into other analysis in other part of the relationship because of that. Kind of set the table for it, like, hey, we connected on this level, let's connect on a deeper level, and we've been maintaining that. So as far as Ari and Audrey, we haven't explained it to them and sat them down and said, hey, we're getting a divorce, because they probably wouldn't understand what a divorce, a marriage, a relationship is. What they have basically understood is that we have 2 houses. Casa Orange is my house, just because it's orange on the outside, and Casa Brown is Adriana's house because it has, it's tan with brown trims. So they'll just ask, are we going, Aria mostly, because Audrey just kind of sometimes will just say, no quiero ir acá, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go here, but she'll just say that about anything basically. Aria is more like, I need to have knowledge of what's going on in my day and I'm going to be okay with it, so she'll just ask, are we going to this house or are we going to the other house? Once she knows, she's okay, that's it. Are we sleeping here, are we doing this, alright, cool, that's it. That's all she wants to know. Once she knows that, she's good to go. I feel like having that openness with them is good. It's good that we live close to each other, so if anything happens, the other one can be there. If one of us misses them, the other one's open, we can see them. If the girls miss them, we can FaceTime. So it's very positive, and I think that has allowed it to be an easier transition for them as well. Let's see. So we haven't really spoken to them, but they kind of understand what's going on just from going from one house to the other. Do I find myself overwhelmed when I have the girls? No. I've made it a point to be, I feel like, above and beyond what a parent would be even when we were living in the same house. So now it's like I've built a very good relationship with them. They enjoy the time with me just as much as they enjoy the time with their mom, and it's not like they're at my house saying, "Oh, I want to be with mom" and all that stuff, because that would be hard to take. Um, I'm used to doing everything for them. I bathe them, I feed them, I entertain them, I get them ready for school, I pick them up from school. Like, that's all something that was already a part of my life. So it hasn't been that big of a change, except that I'm not taking turns with my partner and not being like, "Hey, you do it. I don't feel like doing it." You don't have that option, so you just do it. And I think that's good. Not having an option to pass it on and be like, "Hey, I don't really feel like it." There's no excuses. You just got to do it, and that's helped. So that's something that it's not overwhelming. It's a positive thing, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to be, their sole parent during the times that I have them. Okay. Another question. Would I consider remarrying? Yeah, I would. I'm in no rush to. I'm okay with where I am in my life, but I'm young. I'm 34. I've been married. It's a good partnership. I, think that that's kind of a relationship goal that you have. So whether it's the actual title of being married, whether it's having a big wedding or not, those are things that I could either be with or without. It would also depend on the partner I'm with. But I would want that relationship where you have that partner in life that you're living with, and you're, having that companionship and that relationship with that level of closeness. So, yeah, I'm open to it. I'm in no rush to do it. It's not like I need to be married, but if it happens, it happens. And so I'm open to it. I'm in no rush for it. It's not a do or die thing for me, but I would definitely consider it and look forward to it. Have I started dating? That's another last question that we're gonna do today. So around May, we had agreed to not, to keep it, not talk to other people, do all that stuff. Eventually, for me, what kind of triggered it was when she started doing kickball. Because I had done kickball before when we were separated. It was one of the things that I did is to entertain myself, and you meet a lot of people. Most of the people there are single. It's like a party thing. We did kickball together when her work had a team. Even though I didn't work there anymore, I still knew people there, and I would always play basketball with them, and the same guys were doing kickball, so I jumped in with them and her, and we did it together, and it was a couple thing, and it was fine. But I knew the environment, I knew the surrounding aspect of it. It's like you play kickball, you drink, you go party after, it's okay. So that kind of, a couple weeks into it, I was like, all right, she's starting to branch out, have her own thing. I need to do the same. And so I started doing the online dating thing, and I got an account in Match and eHarmony, and started talking to people and meeting people on there. And at first it was like a lot of people I would talk to. We were still living together, so that kind of became a little tricky because it would bother her when I would talk to people. She was also talking and texting people, and it would kind of bother me as well. So we were kind of like, let's not do it when we're next to each other, or be in a different room. And our therapist kind of helped us deal with that aspect of it. At that point, we were still doing therapy together, and it was challenging, but we were both doing it, so it kind of became easier. Eventually we were like comparing notes and being like, hey, this is what I see, what do you see, how is it from your end? And I think that perspective also helped, seeing what the other person was seeing, what were we seeing, what were we feeling. So having that openness helped. Eventually, we had to stop talking about it because it just became a point of contention for us. It was hard for both of us to experience that and see, the person that we loved for 8 years chatting with other people, seeing other people, and so we stopped. So I've slowed down a lot. I'll get into my reasons for that later on. At first, it was something that was very refreshing, and it helped, and it was very positive because I saw that there was life after, and there was people that would be interested in me, and the fact that I had 3 girls wasn't the end of the world. The fact that I was divorced wasn't the end of the world, and so that was encouraging, and I think it gave me what I needed. A lot of the people that I've spoken to, I don't speak to anymore. There's some that I do, and I've just I'll leave it at that. as that. Maybe eventually I'll open up about my experience about that in more detail. But yeah, so I think that was important. Even if it was not physically seeing somebody, having that interaction, having people interested, helped. I'm sure for her it was the same thing. So it's something that I'm open to dating. I'm obviously in no rush, but it's something that I'm open to, and yeah, with the right person, I'll consider having a relationship exclusive. And so, I'm sure eventually, if that happens, I'll share it with you or whatnot. So those are pretty much the questions that I had until this point. I'll look through the comments and see what other questions there are, and do maybe a part 4.